Today we're going to talk about how to choose someone to assist you with your conveyancing here in Queensland. Now, a legal disclaimer, this is not personalised advice. This is concepts, ideas that you may wish to consider. If you'd like personalised advice, you're welcome to contact us, info@onennesslaw.com.au or www.onennesslaw.com.au, and law is spelled L-O-R-E. Now, whether you're buying and or selling here in Queensland, this is more than just a transaction. It's a big shift and change in your life. And you want to be engaging with people who are going to assist you with this journey, who also see, feel, experience that with you. Now, there's 5 aspects that I'd like to share with you today that you may wish to consider when looking at someone to assist you with your legal aspects of the conveyancing. The number 1 is the experience of the person. Are they a Queensland practitioner? Are they a conveyancer? Or are they a solicitor? And these aspects are important to consider because it's more likely that the knowledge that you're being given is a lot more practical and more stable, and it's going to be less stressful for you. If they're based somewhere else in the country, or Queensland conveyancing is not something that they do on a regular basis, then you are increasing your chances of mistakes being made. Now, point 2 is about communication. And is the communication open and clear? Also, is the communication coming from a knowledgeable aspect here, as well as also connecting in with the heart, with the caring space? You know, the right flow of communication is going to assist you to stay informed, confident, and balanced throughout the process. If the communication is not clear and it's not open, then obviously it can create more stress within you, and that's not really something that you want to be dealing with on top of everything else that you're also organising and arranging with this shift and change. Now, the third aspect I wanted to share with you that you may wish to focus on is fee transparency. So even if it is a fixed fee, but if you're looking at the lower end, or what we might call the lower price range of fees, even if it's fixed fees, you may wish to look at the cost disclosure and see if there are additional fees on top of that. More often than not, when it is at the lower price bracket, as we would call it, there's often additional fees related to things like phone calls and very much minor aspects, or what we might consider usual aspects within a conveyancing matter, that you may end up having to pay more than what you thought. And if you look at someone that's more in the mid-range of pricing, then you'll often find that their fees actually cover more, or may cover actually more of the usual conveyancing. And if you're unsure, check with them. Ask them questions about what other additional fees could there be on top of the usual conveyancing, and what does the usual conveyancing look like to them as well. Now, number 4 is thorough reviews, and this is obviously tying back in to the first aspect we talked about, being experience. So sometimes when you're dealing with a conveyancer for a review, they are supposed to get a solicitor to also review the contract. And so because there's more than one person involved with that part of the process, it can add additional time. Whereas I'd like to mention that at Oneness Law, when you're dealing with us, it's a property solicitor that you are communicating with. And so it's not having to be looked at by a conveyancer and a solicitor. It's usually looked at by the solicitor, and it's a lot more time efficient. So the last aspect I want to talk about is what we might call is alignment. and it should feel right for you. You know, there's a personal connection to a certain extent, you know, still professional. There's a legal connection. There's some element of an emotional connection, and it's a holistic relationship that's happening and that is occurring through this matter and through this big step and shift and change that you're going through. You know, are the values aligned? So sometimes when you go to what we might call the more cookie cutter conveyancing, they can be dealing with hundreds of settlements in a month. And when you're dealing with that many settlements, you usually have less of a personal or a personable relationship with the clients, and or the client themselves is having to deal with multiple people throughout the transaction, and or you may not be given the time and presence that you need for the matter. They may not be able to take your phone calls, and if they do, it might not be for another week later, etc., etc. You know, and then you're also looking at, you know, when you're paying for services, right? Same as when you're paying for products. Do you have a gravitation towards a more family-orientated businesses, or are you looking for something else? You know, when we invest our money into receiving a service and a product, are you checking in with yourself as to, is that aligning with what it is that you wish to support? Where do you wish to send your money out to? And what is that nourishing itself as well? You know, obviously when you're investing in services with businesses that are quite large, there is maybe some elements of where that money's going that may actually not be fully in alignment for you. You know, who is really getting paid at the end of the day after you have paid for the services, and where is that going? Here at Oneness Law, we are not a huge business. We are a small business. We have a percentage of your fees go to the company that we consult to, and that's for them to be able to assist us with trust accounting, some admin things that you probably don't really want to be paying your lawyer to do. It's something that the lawyer will want to put their focus on the clients, on the actual legal work that is at hand. And then the remaining of the funds is going to the sole director of the company, Oneness Law. And then those fees are going towards things like the food for the sole director, the rent, the very basic living costs that many of you are also yourselves trying to pay on your weekly basis to support you and your family and your community. And so, yes, these are 5 main aspects that you may wish to consider when you are engaging someone to assist you with the legal aspects of your conveyancing here in Queensland. If you've got any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us, and we'll see you in the next vlog.